gang, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. Oh my gosh, it's literally not even been a week and I've forgotten how to record a voiceover. We are building a family home today in Gibbi Point. It ends up being a 4-bed, 4-bath, and I would like to say welcome. I appreciate all of you tuning in. I would also like to apologize because I am in the middle of a spiral and this is hopefully going to be a great distraction. Otherwise, we're all going to crash out together over literally nothing. Something that should literally mean nothing to me, and yet it is some of the heaviest and most prevalent thoughts in my head and causes so many spirals. But this isn't for therapy. That will happen in a few days. But yeah, we're building this, and the reason the shell came together so quickly is I had actually built this before, and then I lost my footage of it, which, I not lost my footage of it, I think I still had the footage of it, to be honest, but my game crashed. So that's why I was like looking at referencing a shell, like a screenshot I had taken of it and sent it to a friend. And yeah, so I had like the whole outside, like pretty much what we're about to finish, like right here, done. I just didn't have anything else done, which kind of sucked, but actually very much sucked. But since I had a photo of it, at least it was a little bit easier to kind of go in and recreate. But yeah, we're kind of getting the shell of it together. I end up also having a little barn off to the other side, which is very fun. I haven't done that since like my speed build of Little Simsy. Speed build, which was really fun, but it was also on a tiny lot. I'm writing down a little note so I remembered to add a card. But yeah, we end up using a whole bunch of horse ranch and cats and dogs and cottage living. Those are kind of the main packs that I use in this build, at least. This one kind of does look similar. It's a similar color scheme to the other build. So if you like this one, you might like that one. The other one is a lot smaller, like I said. I also spent forever trying to look for an awning, and it was literally the first one that I pulled out. And I didn't edit it out of the video. So we're going to have fun sitting through this together. Oh, okay, good. I did edit. I mean, it didn't take me as long as I thought it did. I thought it like, in real life, it felt like it took me forever to find that. But I guess not. Also, that hole, the foundation is so weird in there, and we're just not going to talk about it. And then we have a little balcony up top, and I really liked the lack of a balcony or like porch underneath it. I thought that was a really cool touch. I ended up putting like some ferns in it, and that's in a hot minute. This is like also like buckle down. Like, this is a long video, especially if you're here for the long haul, which I know I've probably already lost like half the people who are going to end up watching this video, but I appreciate the people who are still around, even if they cause mental distress. But yeah, we're trying to figure out where I want the staircase to go. I ended up putting over here, and then I do a little half bath. That little area ended up pouring off. I was thinking about making it an office, but I feel like I always do an office, so I actually ended up making it a playroom because I never do those, and this is also like a very much a family home. I have it set up for a couple. I imagined a teen daughter, and then I imagined that it was twin, that there was twin boys, but it could be like twin of any gender, and then like an infant is what I have it set up for, built for. And I have this fun Jack and Jill bathroom upstairs between the children and the teens room. The parents have their own ensuite, and then there's a hall bath and a nursery. And we're just kind of figuring out that floor plan now. There's kind of like a lot of awkward stair space, and I end up putting a pet bed up here. Like I said, I do end up having a barn, so there's for sure a spot for at least one horse on this lot. I end up putting in a chicken coop. I end up putting in some like little farm plots from cottage living. I end up putting in 2 food bowls, so there would be enough for a cat and a dog, and I end up putting in a litter box. Oh my gosh, is that enough Sims? So that's 4 kids, 2 parents. Oh yeah, and if you do 2 dogs, you can't do a dog and a cat and a horse unless you use mods. Ooh, I didn't think about that. But you can do any combination of those. So you could end up just doing a cat, and then you could delete the dog bed that I put in. Or you could just do a dog and delete the cat stuff I put in. But I did imagine that the daughter had a cat. And so maybe it's not even like a cat and you just turn on like the stray cat lot trait. And she's just constantly fostering these cats. I actually totally love that storyline. But we're like an eighth of the way into this build video, and we're just now finishing the floor plan, putting in all of the doors and stuff. I end up having this really big kitchen area and end up using, I think I reached for the, did I end up going with the horse ranch cabinets? I must have. Wow, I thought I ended up not going with those, but I did use the country kitchen kit, I think is the name of it. I never used these appliances, but they were kind of the vibe, not gonna lie. And then I thought about using like this upper cabinet, but it looked so out of place, especially because I'm using medium wall heights, and I also never do that. And there's no uppers at all in this house, so like the storage in the kitchen, not great. We also have a kitchen table right there, and then like 5 steps away there's a main dining table. But I really wanted to have a kitchen table because it just, growing up we had a kitchen table and a dining room table, at least like once I was a little bit older, maybe more like middle school ages, when we finally had like 2 separate tables. And so it feels, and that's just like, I grew up in a farmhouse, so I'm like, yes, a farmhouse would have a kitchen table and a dining room table, even though like it's not always necessarily the reality. But also, I am so sorry I'm yawning so much. I tried to take a nap today, and I couldn't fall asleep, which was so much fun. I love when that happens. It's probably because I was drinking Dr. Pepper, but I'm severely affected by caffeine, for those of you who care and want to know. To be honest, the people who are still probably watching this already know that I'm severely affected by caffeine, so that's fun. They're also probably not even listening anymore, but if you are, hello. If you are, you should text me right now that you're still listening, and I will give you a moment. Alright, you better have texted me. If not, you're a fake friend. And you know you are. I know they are. I don't know, shout back to a build that I did freaking forever ago, where I had mentioned something about bats, like baseball bats, and I was like, oh, my friend who like played baseball, they'll probably watch this and then they'll be able to like reach out and like let me know the answer of this question. And then they're like, oh, hey, I watched your video, it's great. I was like, oh, awesome, are you gonna answer the question? They're like, what question? And I was like, oh, so you didn't watch the video. Wow. They're like, oh, okay, I'll go back and I'll rewatch it and answer the question. And you know what they haven't done? Answered the fucking question. Sorry, I have a lot of pent-up anger over some of this small stuff. I'm so sorry. I actually like never usually swear in my Sims build videos. I do, however, swear in my Stardew Valley expanded Let's Play, which I will also add a card for. We should totally check it out. And we're just about done cluttering up the kitchen now. So I've successfully rambled through, now we went from a fifth of the video to an eighth of the video. And we're just cluttering it up. I really liked cluttering up this kitchen. I usually don't clutter up kitchens quite like this by like having a lot of like fresh produce out. But since this was a farm, I imagined that a lot of the produce that was here and there was grown on the farm. So, you know how it be. And now we're going into the living and dining spaces. And just, well, actually, I think first we do this half bath. And we use a Parenthood tile, which I used to use a whole crap ton, but I honestly haven't used in a while. And honestly, I should start using it more because it's super cute. I think it's a little bit harder. It's definitely more traditional, and sometimes I struggle to use those things, even though it's like actually 110% the style that I build in like 99% of the time. And then I tried to find like a picture to put in there, but I just felt like it looked too busy, so we just left it. And then here, I think I'm going to pull out a dining table here in a second to use. But, and there's the reason I'm having a spiral messaging me. I love that for me. Not really. But I'm probably just going to ignore. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can be strong enough. I'm frequently not strong enough. But I'm going to finish recording this voiceover at the very least because we're about a fourth of the way done now, so we're getting there. I also put a little cat tree. I end up How many times have I said also? Because it's a crap ton. I also. Yeah, I get that I did these things, and you also get that I did these things. But I'm going to remove those like head chairs because they like just look a little bit too crowded. And there I put a little cat tree. So like obviously if you don't want a cat, you can just delete that. Or honestly, you could leave it. Up to you. I do this like really big hutch, and I wanted a hutch, and I was like, okay, that's actually way too big for the space. And I was like, you know what? I don't need these extra two chairs, but I do actually want an infant. So then I put in a high chair. Well, I think at this point I hadn't decided if it was going to be an infant or a toddler. But it does end up being an infant. So there is that. And now we're going in, we're doing the playroom, like I said. Oh, I also used, there I go, saying also again. I used this like lawn blanket rug. I don't frequently use it because it looks too much like a quilted rug or like a quilt. And I'm like, oh, but like in a playroom, it almost would make sense to have a blanket down, especially if you have an infant because it's so soft and cushiony and like probably better than a rug. But also if you have pets, that rug or that blanket would be disgusting. Just thinking of personal preference, I have a Bernese mountain dog. I don't know if I've ever talked about this before, but she gets hair everywhere. And so I can just imagine how dirty that blanket would be, especially also living on a farm. So like the pets are probably coming in and out and you're probably not taking the amount of time to like scrub their paws clean as you should be. And so, yeah, that's fun. And then we add a little decals to the wall, because I imagine that worked nice for the space. And then I end up doing like the build your own sectional from Dream Home Decorator, just because I wasn't quite sure on the couch that I wanted, but I knew I wanted like a decent sized couch. I also used this massive TV because it fit perfectly from the Don Lothario kit. And I don't think I've ever used this TV. And honestly, I don't know if it quite fits the vibe of this house, but it fit perfectly there. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah, we're watching some football on Saturday, on Sunday. No, we're gonna do college football on Saturday because we're those kind of people. My cousins, like my aunt and uncle, were those kind of people where like they're not super big, like they're decently big into the NFL, but like they prefer college level sports over professional sports because it is more competitive, which honestly I don't know if that makes sense or not, but like to my brain it kind of makes sense because like at a college level there's like always new and up and coming things, and you have like a certain amount of time you're trying to like show off your skills for pro. Like there's just so much more out there, whereas professional it's like you've kind of already made it and now you just have to prove that you belong there, if that makes sense. I don't know, but yeah, we have a giant TV. Now we're working on I put up some picture frames. I put up a burglar alarm and a thermostat. I literally never do that. I always forget. I also put a Roomba down because I said, it's gonna be dirty. If you have these pets, you live on a farm, it's gonna be dirty. And then I was trying to figure out how else I wanted to fill up this space, and I literally could not find anything for the life of me. But I did put down some like toys for the dog that I imagine lived here, or the cat. And I put down a big rug, and then I wanted just an accent table, but all the accent tables were small, so I ended up putting a dining table, and then I put a little plant on it, little cat succulent plant. And then we're going around, and this is a different day, you can tell because there's a little bit change in footage, but it's the same, like you could just tell from that little transition. Doing some more plants and some more cluttering around down here. I had thought that I was done when I had left. Honestly, I don't even remember. Maybe I wasn't done. Maybe I went to go take a nap. I honestly cannot remember. I know I built it on like Easter Monday, because I didn't work. And sadly, that was my last break before the end of the school year. But now we're going back upstairs. We're gonna do the one bathroom. I do the Jack and Jill bathroom on camera, and then I don't do the hall bathroom on camera. But it is like copy and pasted the same furniture pretty much. It's a slightly different layout, but it is the same furniture, as I'm literally also just copy and pasting mostly the same furniture from downstairs. Up here, I do a little kid's towel, a robe on the door. It's technically on the wrong door, but we don't talk about that. And then some curtains, toilet paper, just the bathroom clutter-esque things. I also put, since the sink is right underneath the, what do you call those, windows? I put a mirror, behind it, like a full body mirror instead. Some toothbrushes, some rugs. some little lotions, and then I went and I did the other bathroom, and then we're coming and we're doing, trying to find a bed for the teen room. And I think I mentioned, I think this sim is the sim who owns the horse. Like, I think that the parents obviously bought the horse and, like, are supporting her, but, like, she's a certified horse girl, and, like, she does, like, races and competitions, and I put up some ribbons, so I think that she's, like, won a decent amount of, like, horse races and things like that. My sister used to compete in, like, horse, like, rodeos and stuff like that growing up. I never did, but she did, and she enjoyed it, and we had horses growing up too, so that was fun. But yeah, we're just kind of, I really was trying to avoid using the horse ranch like furniture set, but like it just fits so perfectly, I had to. And also this swatch on the bed is gorgeous, and also hello a little horse. And I also then end up using the same curtains from downstairs, like the little puff ones from, I think it's from high school years. I ended up doing this little green swatch, and then I ended up changing the desk because I really did not like how the desk was working for this season's one. And here's where I end up getting out like those. Actually, I was looking for anything horse related, and I was like, ribbons, perfect. But it kind of takes me a while to find like the clutter that I want for the desk space, because I didn't really want to give her a computer at all. I end up, not for a while, not till like after we do the twins room, but I do end up grabbing, oh my god, I should have cut some of this out. It's just me like literally searching for any horse thing, and then I grab like some horse decals and a little tapestry, and then I end up doing some fairy lights above the bed, and all that fun stuff, all the things that I imagine like a good teenage girl would have. Like, it's so cutesy in here. I would love this bedroom, especially if I was a certified horse girl. I'm not a certified horse girl, unfortunately, but now we're adding like some cluttery things. Like, I put some sunglasses and keys and little post-it notes and a stack of books. I do imagine that she's also like pretty studious. And then a little stuffy, and then I end up putting a cat calendar, and then I also end up grabbing like some cat stuff out, because like I said, I imagine that this sim is the one who's obsessed with cats as well as like, they're just all about the animals, right? Like, they just love the animals. They enjoy racing. They're like, their one trait would be pet lover. And then I end up grabbing a little candle for the bed. I have also recently been loving, and I don't know if I've talked about this at all recently, but with the tool mod you can change the color of the lights. It might even be the Better Build mod, but it's one of the Twisted Mexi mods that you can change the color of the lights from build by. You don't have to go into like the game and change them. Game changer. Anyway, we are done with the main room, and now we're going into the other room where I end up using bunk beds. And I thought that I would do like a split like this, but I was like, it's honestly taking up too much room. Well, not really taking up too much room, but it like left a lot of empty space underneath the bed, like the lofted bed, and I really didn't like how that looked. So I ended up switching it and just making it a regular standard bunk bed using this rug that's from My First Pet Stuff, I think. Very big, very blue. One thing about this family is they enjoy being outside, so I imagine that these two children were like part of the scouts, all about animals. I give them this little desk over here, animal themed. I give them the barn playhouse. Here's where the frickin', I was trying to put like the lamp underneath that in that little gap. I feel like I always do that when there's bunk beds. And there's where I end up putting the journal on her desk, like a little diary. And then I give them a little raccoon stuffy, and the barn dollhouse is what I was trying to say. It's so annoying. The Sims can be so annoying when you're like not on the first level and you're trying to like do all the things, like move the camera around. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to put there, and then I end up just putting that freaking barn house there. And then I end up putting also, I wonder also how many times I say I and also, like that's got to be freaking a crazy number amount of times. But we put a school project down, and that's pretty much it, I think. Well, no, I put some some clutter underneath that dresser, and then that's pretty much it. Oh, and then I went and added those to those bedrooms. Dang, I should have added them to all the bedrooms because I think I low-key forgot. And then we go into the hallway. I add a fish tank. I didn't stock the fish tank before I added it to the gallery. Oh, yeah. Also, we'll do this little shout now. If you want to download this, it is on the Sims 4 gallery, and all the information to easily find it will be in the description box below. Weird that I'm doing this halfway through the video. I usually either do it like in the beginning or at the end, but halfway time, I guess. But yeah, I'm just now adding and trying to clutter up this hallway of sorts and make it look like it fits. One annoying thing that I hate about like doing this like open with the staircase is how that trim just like runs around the top. Like the trim would not be there in real life, but like it kind of has to be in The Sims. And we do a little comfy bench and some plants, and then where I put the dog bed. And then I thought I was probably doing a little bit too many of those open frames. I really like putting those in. One, because I feel very limited with the artwork that we have in The Sims, and two, I think that it just works with a lot of gameplay, and so I think just having it there makes it easier to use. And now we're going into the nursery where I imagine the infant was, and I used a lot of the storybook nursery kit in here, because I feel like I always use the stuff that came with like Growing Together or the base game stuff, and I really wanted to not have to use that, and I didn't want to use like the Enchanted by Nature stuff. It didn't seem like quite the right vibe, and this stuff actually was a lot closer to the vibe that I was looking for. It ends up being kind of a pastel-y pink, and the sheep rug is so freaking cute. Yeah, it just like comes together perfectly. I actually love how this nursery turned out, and it will be super easy to turn into a toddler room. The only other thing you'd have to add would be a toddler potty, and obviously you would want to get rid of like the little infant playmat stuff and like maybe the rocking chair. But I think turning infants into toddlers rooms super easy. But yeah, it just looks so cute in here. I'm so happy how this turned out. I was having so much fun decorating all of this stuff, and it just turned out so cute. Yeah, some little plants on the wall. Like I imagine this family all about the plants. Lots of plants. I also love plants, and that needlework I imagine that like one of the parents did as well. And then just putting some toys down, and then we're gonna hop over and do the attached ensuite in the parents' room. And that one is a little bit fancier. I imagined it was like updated more recently, so it doesn't have like the same tile as the other bathrooms, and it doesn't have like the same like shower tub combo. It does have the same sink, but I end up doing like the separate freestanding shower with a glass panel and then a toilet and then that separate tub, just kind of for a little bit more elevated experience. And I also feel like I never do separate tubs. And honestly, when I do, I'm pretty sure I always do a freestanding shower because I just hate like the regular showers in game. But it is what it is. We put in some little like body care, hair wash stuff in the shower, a robe, toilet paper, all of the classic things that you would need in the bathroom. You're also getting a pretty good view of the bathroom that I didn't show on camera. And then I was trying to figure out what curtains I wanted, but I ended up just going for the same exact ones that I've been using like in the kitchen and the other bathrooms and all of that stuff. And I thought about putting a picture there, but I was like, honestly, nothing's going to quite work there. So I just put in a little hand soap and then a little rug next to the bathtub, and then we go and we do the parents' room, which is the last room in the house, but then there's still actually quite a bit of build left. I mean, there's not totally too much. We are getting into the home stretch for sure, but yeah, we're getting there. The parents also have the balcony attached to their room, which I loved that it worked out that way, because I feel like sometimes it doesn't always work out where you can like give them the nice room. But I also gave them a little chair off, like a little reading chair off on the side with a little chase. They have a lot of really big windows. I just really like, I would totally live in this house. Like, someone let me live in this house in the mountains of Montana, please. Like, honestly, I need that to happen at this point. I just, I need to get away. I want to die, but I think just getting away would be good. I need to, like, escape reality for a while again. And sadly, I don't have a trip planned for, like, another month. but I am packed. Like, my next couple of weekends are packed. I did sign up for, I don't know if yeah, I think I mentioned that I was into running. Oh, my PC fell asleep. I mean, I'm recording this on my MacBook. My PC had fallen asleep, so, like, yeah. But I've gotten into running, and I signed up for a couple of races, so I have those coming in the upcoming weeks. It is record store day next weekend, and then I'm taking my next level of praxis, so hopefully I can start teaching AP courses. And, yeah, so I'm just staying busy. I am booked and busy, to be honest, and hopefully that's a good thing. Hopefully. I hope. I'm wishing that I would have been a little bit more booked and busy this weekend to help with my mental clarity and to help with my mental stability right now. But, you know, it is what it is. I also put a fan in this build because I always sleep with the fan. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do? Put a fan. Also, something that I always frequently forget to do is, like, paint the ceilings. And I did paint the ceilings out on these porches. But you know where I didn't paint the ceiling, where it would have been great for me to paint the ceiling? In the barn that I built. Well, honestly, I'm just thankful that I remember to paint any of the ceilings. Usually, I don't even know. Like, I almost didn't decorate the actual, like, main porch at all. And you'll see I come back and just quickly do that at the end. But right now we're just decorating. It honestly took me forever to figure out what I wanted up here. I put a little card table and then figuring out what plants I wanted up here that were big enough to fill the space, but not too big to clip into the wall. So impossible. And also I didn't want to reuse any of the ones I'd already used. So that was also partially my fault. But yeah, it felt impossible. But then I also do get outdoor lights. That's also something I frequently forget. There are outdoor lights. I came back and I even put some outdoor lights out in the little garden area. I mean, we were really going, man. Honestly, I do think that I delete that cow plant hanging plant. Wow, what an odd sentence. But here I am getting some outdoor lights. And then that's pretty much it, I think, for the house part of it. And then we're going to start going in and building the barn. I think I'm going to, like, move around. Oh, no, I put in some window boxes, which is also another thing that I frequently forget. I do go and put them on some windows where I don't end up having them. Yeah, these ones over here, like, by the balcony, I end up deleting those just because it felt like a little bit too much. But having them in the front, so cute. And then here's where the barn goes. It takes me a while to figure out, like, the size and the doors that I want on the barn. Sorry, my sister just texted me. I actually already gave her that money, so I don't know what you want me to do about that there, queen. But yeah, it took me a while to try to figure out what I wanted to do because that small barn on the medium height didn't work. And I put this large one in there. And I was like, okay, I need to make the barn bigger. So then I made the barn one tile bigger and it ended up working perfectly. I put in, like, these open stable windows. Oh, I probably should have cut out, like, me freaking placing these windows because it's honestly kind of a nightmare because I wanted to make sure I did them on, like, both, like, I don't even know, like, oh, my alarm took a little. My sister's dog is going off. The east and west sides, and I wanted to make sure that, one, they were lined up with each other, and then two, they were at the same level. And it's just, like, so incredibly annoying to do that. But you just suffer, and I mean, it's like, I'm literally already done with it, but it was annoying to do. And then I was like, maybe I'll use this one. I was like, that seems more of like a gate you would have, like, on a horse stall. Probably not the vibe. So I just used one of the doors I use on the inside, put a horse stable, like a horse bed down, and I put, like, a half wall next to it, which definitely makes it feel like a little bit more intentional. I think that's kind of one thing I struggled with within that other build where I did a barn. It didn't feel quite as intentional. But this one definitely does feel more intentional, which is good. And I put down, like, a trough and water. Wait, is it a trough? No, it's a feeding trough. Well, I guess they're both technically troughs. This is one a water trough and one a feeding trough. Sure. And then we put down a saddle. I put down this, like, chest thingy to take up space. You're going to see me going through, like, all of the things because I'm, like, I know what goes in a barn because I grew up on a farm. But, like, where are they in The Sims 4? Because I, like, never build barns. And there you're just seeing me, like, pull out other things that I think fit as I'm going. So there's, like, some fertilizer here. And then I finally found, like, the hay bale that I wanted. And I was just trying to adjust those so they fit. And then I also end up finding, like, a milk pail and putting that on the bucket, because I don't imagine like you're using it for a milk pail, because I didn't give them like cows or like the llama shed, which you have to have in order to have those animals in The Sims 4. But yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about now. We've reached the point where like I'm like technically like, okay, how much more can I ramble? Oh, I just got very scared because I thought that it had stopped recording. It had not stopped recording. However, right as I went to check, I was getting a phone call, and so then it would have stopped recording. So I'm glad that that was at the forefront of my brain when that happened. It was my sister calling me to then remind me of the things I need to do when I let out her dogs. So I actually have no clue where I was talking at all, but we're here now, we're rolling, we're vibing, we're doing all of the things. Thea also just came and got a lot closer to me, and so if you can hear her panting in the background, I apologize, but it's a special little gift for you. We're doing a little garden space now. I put some plots down, so you can either grow like the oversized stuff that comes with cottage living on these, and you can also just treat them as regular planting pots and grow regular plants there. And then we're doing a little chicken coop. I was going to do a beehive, but I couldn't quite fit it. But I did do like the birds and the rabbits that come with cottage living. So those, if you befriend them, they'll help you with your garden prep, which is a lot of fun. And then, yeah, we're just pretty much doing landscaping from here out. And then at the very end, we're also decorating the porch because I completely forgot to do that. But yeah, just trying to find like landscaping that blends into this world. A little bit hard, as one might imagine. But I am doing some rocks and all that fun stuff. I also like left all of my searching in. I probably could have like edited it out or like sped it up a little bit faster. But my one friend had said that it was nice to like see the thought process that goes into it, and like it's not like something like just snaps together. But if you have different opinions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep vibing with that opinion, even if that opinion's wrong and they're wrong. And yeah, I say this, I'm like saying a lot of these like big powerful things, but like, and I'm like, what if they're actually listening? What if they like call me on this? Honestly, I hope they do. But odds are is that they won't, because yeah. But anyway, we've done the signature Alpal gaming thing of lining the house with hedges because it just looks so clean and nice. Like, why would I not line them with hedges? And then here I'm putting like little ferns in that little pop-up that I said that I was going to do. And then using the tool mod to lower them down. Since they're debugged, they kind of spring up with the foundation. But I wanted them in that little cove there. And then I'm trying to find the freaking hydrangeas that are slightly off to the other side. And I can't find them. And it's so freaking irritating. And then I went and I put some like little tall grass or along the back side of the house because there's not really much going on back there. There's not a lot of room back there, so not much for there to be happening back there. But you know, it'd be like that. Wild things for me to say. But alas, I found regular. I just end up using like the white hydrangeas and then putting in little plants around that wagon, putting in a mailbox. And then I think I also end up grabbing some trash cans, tucking them off to over there. And then I also put one like behind the barn because like when you clean the chicken coop, and then I also imagine like if you pick up after the horses, there's going to be trash there as well. And then I also was thinking about putting hedges along the side of the house, but then they're like, or the barn, but they're like so far away. They look kind of odd. Now we're doing terrain paint, and I end up doing like a very clean shot. Like the terrain paint on like for this rock part, I love. It's like so perfect. It's so good. It just looks so freaking nice. But yeah. Yeah, we're just doing some terrain paint. We're getting towards the end of the build video now. I'll do my shout outs again just in case maybe, I don't know, you were zoning out in the middle of it because like that's what you do, and I mean that's what everyone does. But if you want to download this, it's all available on the Sims 4 gallery. All my stuff's in the description box below. I appreciate you sticking around with me, especially on this kind of a little bit more lengthy of a build video. Will definitely be shorter next week because if you didn't know, I post weekly Sims 4 builds and then also weekly Stardew Valley expanded Let's Plays. Let's Plays are on Wednesdays, and we're just about to get into the summer season, so it'll be a great time to come and join us. And then Sims 4 builds every Sunday. Thank you all so very much for watching and sticking it out with me. I appreciate you all so very, very, very much. If you want to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, that really would mean a lot to me. Thank you all, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!